This presentation is brought to you by Smoooth Productions.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Smoooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. It is your boy Smooth, that is Smooth with 3 O's, and we back again. This has been such an amazing start to 2026 for Smoooth Conversations. So many great guests, so many great stories being told, and tonight it does not stop. This will be the last live Smoooth Conversations for the month of January as I get ready to ramp up things for February and down the line. But once again, tonight, we're going to make things happen. For those tuned in for the first time, thank y'all very much. I truly appreciate it. Smoooth Conversations is all about just getting those stories told, being transparent. We always see what people are doing on social media, on TV, maybe in radio, so many different aspects, but we never get to know the story behind it, their journey, their reason why. And that's what Smoooth Conversations is all about. I've always said that I feel this is my ministry. This is my giving, you know what I'm saying, from God to others. And you just never know what someone is going through. They can possibly relate to whoever I'm talking to on the show as a guest, and maybe inspired by what they see, what they hear. And that's what this show is all about. We need more positivity to be shown across these airwaves. There's no shade to other shows. That's their lane. But right here, it's all about showing love and giving them flowers, because why wait till they can't smell them and give them their flowers? So that's what this show is all about. So I need everyone right now to go ahead and like and share this stream right now. It's streaming all across social media, so there's no reason that they can't check out the show and show love. And also, I encourage you all to leave comments, leave questions throughout this episode. This is all about interacting from us to you. So let your voice not be heard, because we can't hear you, but we can see it on the screen. So leave comments, leave questions. Let's shower this woman with the love that she deserves. Before I bring on a special guest, need everyone also to go ahead then and scan the QR code right now. Or for those who's tuned in on Beat District Radio and you can't see, of course, go to smoothproductions.com. That's Smooth with 3 O's, productions.com. Check out all the links. Save me as a contact. Follow me. I have so many different links from, as you see on your screen. Y'all need some amazing photography, videography, drone services, smooth moments, got you covered. I also have a sports talk show that I've been doing for the last almost 9 years, consistently every Wednesday, called the Platform Sports Talk Show Network. Every first Wednesday, I have Ladies Night, all women's panel. I call them the best panel of ladies who love sports. And if you think they don't know their stuff, tune in and test them out and see why I call them the best panel of ladies who love sports. Then you have every last Wednesday of the month, the Man Cave, of course, all the fellas, okay? And when I say anything can go down, anything can go down on the Man Cave. Then in between those weeks, you have the main show, where I host the show and I have panelists from the Man Cave and from Ladies Night. So we are experts in sports. We love it. We have a passion. We've had amazing A+ tier guests on our shows and everything. So check out the Platform Sports Talk Show Network. Like, subscribe as well. Then, as I said before, you have KBDR, Beat District Radio. It is the first all Black-owned online radio station from the heart of Ferguson. It'll be a full year in March, doing amazing things. We have this show, of course. Right before my show, you heard of BJ the DJ. It's my dude right there holding things down. We have so many different DJ shows. We have teen shows as well. They have teen podcasts. We have comedy podcasts. We have a slew of so many great things going on. And just because we are a Black-owned station, not everything is Black music. We have country. We have the reggae. We have rock. We have it all going on KBDR Beat District Radio. So check out the website, not right now, but right now, and go to beatdistrictradio.com. You can also download the app on Google Play and on the App Store. We plan to do so many great things around the community. Like you see, so many great other radio stations doing this, doing that. Hey, we're doing the same thing too, and going to do it bigger and better and do it the way that we know how. So Beat District Radio, where the culture meets the sound. And speaking of the station, if you want to have an ad of your business or what you're doing to be placed on the station, no matter if it's during the daytime, the morning time, nighttime, whatever it is, you want to have your business, your ad placed on our station, or if you want to be a sponsor to one of the many great shows on KBDR Beat District Radio, like for instance, I could say, this is Smoooth Conversations brought to you by blank your business. We'll have it on the screen. All the love that you deserve will be shown right there. So if you want to have an ad placed or be a sponsor, shoot us an email, info@beatdistrictradio.com. Once again, info@beatdistrictradio.com. Now, all that's out the way, I believe. So let me go here. Now, get this focused in right so y'all can see me good. Lost focus. There we go. So now, the moment that you all have been waiting for, this woman here, she's the boss, y'all. She be doing her thing. She is a wife. She is a mother. And she is someone who has built her brand when it comes to yoga. She's rocking the hoodie right now. All families doing yoga. She is, once again, from what I have experienced when we cross paths, we'll talk about that very soon, but just someone who is very humble, but someone who's also adventurous, loves to travel, just loves to just smile and have fun, but also inspire others to do the same, and also be active and want you to be healthy as well. And look forward to having her story told right now on Smoooth Conversations. Y'all may have seen a little bit of a peek of her, but now it's time for the whole thing. What's going on? SonJoria Sydnor, how you doing?
Hey, I was like, is he gonna butcher it?
No,
you got it.
I was practicing about 15 times the last couple of days. I'm like, let me make sure I get it right. So
no, you did.
Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
thank you for
taking
having
time
me
out.
on this platform.
I know that you said that normally you be doing yoga at this time at Mercy Hospital,
teaching prenatal yoga usually at this time.
There we go. But you're here, and thank you very much. How has your day been?
My day has been great. It has been really nice. Like I said, it's been like a little bit of a switch up, but it's peaceful, and I get to go home to my babies a little earlier today, so that's nice. They always rooting for that.
Oh yeah, they all gonna be like, here we go. Yes. Good to see you at this time. But I want to start off first just with the name SonJoria. Tell us about, because everyone be having certain names, but certain ones are just unique and they stand out. So I would love to hear, for those who may not be aware, the story of your first name.
So my name story, that's a wonderful question. So my mom's name is Sonia. People always think that my name, like, what does it mean? Where did it come from? And I'm like, it means little Sonia. Her name is Sonia. It's spelled with a J. It's SONJA. And so she named me. Backstory is my mom and my dad, they were trying to figure out what to name me. And she says that my dad's name is Herman.
Okay.
He wanted to name me Hermanetta.
Oh, no.
So, thankfully, she came in and she came up with SonJoria. So SonJoria, which I love. And I've always loved my name. I love how unique it is. I love the story behind it. Men have juniors all the time. So this was her version.
Right.
But we kept it going. So I have two daughters. The first one, I remember I was asleep. We were trying to figure out what to name her. And I was asleep. and her name came to mind. It was like a show, American Idol had a guest on it named SonJoria or something.
I remember that.
And I woke up and I was half asleep, and I told my husband, we weren't even pregnant. And I was like, if we ever have a girl, we're going to name her SonJoria. Wow. And so we went with SonJoria. We spelled it SonJaia. And then we had our last child, which was like a surprise. So she was a girl. And I was like, oh, we got to keep it going. Right. But I had no name in mind. So she's Sonea. So all of us are SON. It's just like and I hope that they keep with it, but with no pressure. They don't have to.
Oh no, that's dope. I love hearing, once again, just unique stories. So that's pretty amazing. So I brought up earlier in the intro about us crossing paths. So I thought initially that the first time we crossed paths was at this event. Tell everyone about this event right here.
So this event is my mom and my dad's milestone party. So it was like I can't even remember what year anniversary. One of them was turning 65, one was turning 70, and they just were like, let's do a huge, let's just do a banger. And so my mom was looking for a DJ, and I had experienced you DJing, and I was like, well, I don't know what his fees are. I don't know if he DJs just anybody's party or if it's just people we know, but here's the information, check him out. She still talks about how great you were.
Really?
Yes. So yeah, that was not the first time we crossed paths. But
exactly. Because I say that because I realized wait a minute, she was at this party as well.
Yes. Now that's when I was like, oh, he get lit. Yes, I was there. One of my childhood friends, Keita house. Yep, we were celebrating her doctorate.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a wonderful day.
That was my second time at their wonderful house.
Yes.
Shouts out to her and her fiance, Antonio.
Yes.
Shouts out to them, man. I ain't gonna spit no other beans out. But yeah, so shouts out. Just stay tuned, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, stay tuned for more information. But yes, that was a vibe.
Yes, it was.
It was a vibe, and everyone had a great time, and I ain't gonna never forget.
It was
because dang near everyone was tipsy, drunk, or
and you
whatever
were supposed to be gone hours ago, right?
Exactly. So Melanie, your girl, Mel, you know how she is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She ain't got to get paid to act how she acts. That's just her personality.
Always.
So all I heard was, you can't leave. Oh, you got to stay.
Right. She late and she don't want you to leave.
Yeah. So, and mind you, they stay like an hour and some change from where, you know what I'm saying, I stay. And my wife, shouts out to you, wifey, love you.
Yes.
But, so I'm like, but the money was talking. I'm like, and it was a vibe.
Yes.
So it was like, well, hey, why stop?
Yes.
Let's keep it going. And her, Paquita, they all would just tore up on the floor, but they had a good time.
It was a wonderful, wonderful night.
Yeah,
yes,
it was definitely fun. So I'm like, well, and then seeing you do what you did at the Great Gatsby party, theme party. Then I'm doing some research. I'm like, well, she seems to be like a very outgoing, just want to have fun, let loose type person. Am I wrong?
That is so true.
And tell everyone the reason why you feel like it's so important for people like us to just let loose, let your hair down, and stop balling in so much and just go out and have fun.
Oh my gosh, that could be like a 2-hour conversation.
Hey, we got time.
I completely just believe in just being comfortable in the skin that you are in. I know that one of my favorite, I'm gonna keep it on topic. Let's talk about how it feeds into yoga. And so one of my favorite classes to teach when I do yoga with kids, with pregnant women, with the community in general, is restorative yoga. And the reason why it's such a favorite of mine is because our people don't even know what it feels like to be at a stable level in our bodies. We're always walking around tense, under pressure, checking to see. One of the things that we're always checking to see is, are we moving in a way that represents the whole Black community? Because I went to school in Lindbergh. and I work in Ladue. So I'm always surrounded by people who don't look like me. And so from that experience, what I have learned and I had to unlearn is that we show up as the picture for all Black people. And I don't speak for all Black people. I don't speak for all Black women. I speak for only me. But we walk around wearing that on our shoulders. So we can't even just relax and be comfortable in our skin because we're worried that we're going to look a certain way and our whole community is our whole race is going to be judged based off of something that we did wrong. So took years, but I'm starting to unlearn that. And I don't want that to go over into my children. You know, we see kids at the playground and they're wild and free and they're enjoying themselves. And I don't know if you think about back in our childhood when we were growing up.
Thank you for bringing that up because I love when this conversation shifts this way. I love to talk about it because these kids don't understand how we used to have it so good back in the day. Yes. You know, I was thinking about when I used to stay in U City, and I used to be outside all day until the lights turned on, or until I heard my granny say "Frederick," and it's like, okay, gotta go inside. Yeah. But it was just so peaceful to be able to go outside, and as parents. Not gonna, of course, with us being parents, we don't have that same feeling that our parents used to have when we can't be confident that our kids will come back home. They're safe. The community is watching out for them. No, we can't. Like we can't. Before we had children, me and my husband, he has a sister that's significantly younger than us. So she came over to our house when she was about 12 to hang out, and she wanted to ride the bike in the neighborhood. And that would have been a no-brainer for me. Like, we were just having a conversation recently about me riding my bike. Like, I lived in Northwoods and I rode my bike to Wellston. Yeah. And he was like, your mom let you ride that far? And I was like, she didn't know. You know, you went outside, you got on your bike, and as long as you were home by the time the street lights, wasn't nobody looking for you, right? And they knew you were going to return safely. But like you said, I was like, I don't think I feel comfortable with that. Just so much is going on. And I definitely, like, my kids, no. My son walks down to the community center during the day. But at night, he's like, Mama, I'm 14. You won't let me walk home by myself? No, sir, I won't. I want you to come home. Yeah. So, yeah, it's much different. And we do have a comment here from, is that Alicia Kenny? Said, this is amazing. I absolutely love you. I love her too. Oh, look at you. So just seeing that, talk about, because, you know, I've been seeing the promos and everything, seeing the people who've been liking it, who's been responding. So when you see the outpouring of love, how does it make you feel? It feels really good. I will say that you hear a lot of people speak about how, like, their community doesn't show up for them, or their family and their friends don't show up for them and don't support them. And I will say that I have a lot of people who are not family and friends that support me, but oh my gosh, my family and friends, that they are solid. Like, they are solid. Like, that, they show up in so many ways. If they can't show up this way, they're going to show up this way. And I feel the love. And I'm so blessed. Biologically, I'm the only child. I grew up with 2 siblings, and so that was very helpful. But being the only child biologically, I am too. It's different, right? It's different. Too, yeah. Like, you have your sister cousins, you have your friends that you know will, like, go to the ends of the earth for you. But they also got their family, and it's not the same when you don't grow up in the same house with somebody. So sometimes I am a loner. I'll be outside and have a good time, but I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna have to just, like, decompress. And even though I am a loner, sometimes you want to, like, have that, you know, that I wouldn't say community, but just that closeness with people. And so it's a blessing that I do have that. People show up for me, and I try to, like, one of my things is if I can't bless you, like, one day God gonna make me rich. Right. But right now,
I'm rich in love and I'm rich in time. And I show up for my people and I appreciate those that do the same for me.
Exactly. Speaking of speaking up, I think song right there, maybe showing you love, says, I'm so proud of you. Tell Smoooth I said thank you. So I'm gonna say it's my pleasure. I had a wonderful time. Thank you for booking Smoooth Productions to do your event. Now your daughter.
Thank you so much, Mama. She, my number one supporter. I was like, my mom said she's told this person, they all are going to be there. If don't nobody be there, my mama's going to be there. And I appreciate it. Alicia was my cousin, like my sister cousin, like we grew up together. Like those are my people. And you said comment, they going to comment.
Here we go.
I love you, Mom.
You got some more, is that? There we go. What's up, Auntie?
Yes.
Says it's amazing to see the wonderful, blessed, strong woman that you have become.
Thank you, Irita, who does not do YouTube or anything extra. So this is like,
but she did tonight.
She did tonight.
Thank y'all. And once again, I encourage each and every one of y'all right now to go ahead and share. And let's get even more people tuned in, because more people tuned in, the more people can be inspired, the more flowers can be given. And the more that Smoooth Conversations and Smoooth Productions will get even more love, so we keep on getting this thing going the way that it should be.
That is awesome.
So you said, she says, only sibling my butt.
Oh, that's my brother. I have so much family now. I am so blessed. But that is my brother. My bad, bro. My bad.
Hey, bro, I understand, because us men, we get left out certain situations. Like, are we even here? You know, but it's all good. It's all good. It's here. Here we go. Keep the comments going.
And I said biologically.
Said, this is awesome.
That's my husband.
There we go. Shouts out to your husband. And let's see who we have here.
I don't know, but I am blessed that, look, I was wondering, look, okay, you got to drop a name in, but if not.
Drop a name.
Yes, drop a name if you can. If not, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
But yeah, once again, that's what this show is all about, man. We need more love to be shown in so many different spaces.
Yes.
And that's why I have this show right here. So going back, because you brought up something with you being the biological only child, and I was too. But I was blessed to have so many, especially these four that I want to shout them out to, my best friends, Jonathan, Miko, and Eddie. I said four, but three. It's us four all together.
Yes.
But we used to always, and it's something that you don't really see nowadays with kids, unless you're related to them by blood. But like we used to have sleepovers all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Playing games late night till 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, you know, going to each other's houses.
Yeah.
And once again, just the way that things are nowadays in life, you know, those same people who used to call friends, all of a sudden you hear now in the news, one child shot, playing with guns, and you know, this society has just changed dramatically. So I do want to ask, just from your standpoint, because like I said, I had the feeling from just seeing you and see what you've been doing, that you're also about just living life to the fullest. So when you see stuff like that on the news, how disheartening is it for you? Is it something that you would like to do on your end to try to promote more peace, promote more love?
Yeah, I would say so. I have always so I'm a teacher by heart. My mom is a teacher. So she's been a teacher, newly retired teacher, but she's been a teacher like pretty much most of my life, like at least since I was 9. And so my background is social work and I'm a nurturer. So anything that I've just always been drawn to children. And I feel like society forgets about the children. Like we talk about the children. We talk about how we show up for the kids, we show up for this. But when it comes to support in different areas, I feel like, and I understand that the teens get left behind a lot. I do understand that. But if we start with the kids, then by the time we build these relationships, the teens will be good. But we forget the little kids. Like, and so that's the, like, Melanie always says, you're like a magnet to the kids. Like, you're like the kid whisperer. And I don't know what it is. I just love them so much. And I feel like when you set a foundation for them, a foundation to feel loved, to feel safe to grow, safe to be themselves, then you get well-respected teens. You get teens that are very versatile and able to move in certain rooms and things like that. But that don't happen overnight. You don't just wake up one day and be like, oh, the teens need help. Like, start early and let's keep it going from there. So that's the reason why I teach yoga to everyone. But that's the reason why, like, I really focus on the 5 through, well, I'll start as early as 3 through 10-year-olds, because if they have the foundation to have the coping skills, healthy coping skills, like healthy, because, you know, we grew up differently. Like, we didn't always have representation of what healthy coping skills look like. So if you give them that when they're young, then what you hope is that it'll be instilled in them as they get older and they come into these situations that test their patience, that test, like, you know, test them, they'll be able to tap back into their toolbox. And so that's my goal. My goal is to just help the children so that they grow up to be healthy and feel like they can do the things that they want to do in a healthy capacity.
Yeah, and I had a few months, well, probably over a year ago now, I had a teacher on here, Dr. Tiffany Patton, and I asked her about how these kids are nowadays. They feel like they're being rebellious, and it's like a cry for help.
Yeah.
And like when I asked about that question, she kind of had a pause because she always got emotional because of the attachment that she has as a teacher and being around so many kids, and how you can really tell that a lot of these kids, they're like, you can't see it, but it's like they're inside of a jail cell trying to get out and don't have no way or means of trying to bust out and be free.
And I love that you said, like, that she got emotional, because, man, when you have a teacher that cares, that means a lot, right? Like, and I don't know if you can go back into, like, your memory and think about that teacher or those teachers or that administrator that actually cared. But when you have that person, it does take you to another level, you know? And nowadays, they're not paying teachers enough. And then they're pulling in people who just doing it for the money.
Right.
And nobody has training. Nobody has passion, and nobody has the love for the kids. So the kids are just out here feeling and teaching yoga. So I run this workshop called Black Kids Do Yoga. And I talk about being inclusive with Black children in certain spaces. I will teach this workshop to people just in education in general, to people in wellness spaces, anybody working with kids. You don't have to be Black, you can be white, but if you touch Black kids, like, this is a powerful workshop, because it's different. When I was doing my research about, you know, teaching Black kids, one of the things, and it resonated with me, is that we as a community, our children need to feel loved before they'll give you effort. And see, when you're dealing with kids that are not of color, these kids are taught, you show up, you do what you need to do, you do the work. It don't matter if your teacher like you. Who cares if your teacher? You got to do what you got to do. But our community, we move differently. We need to feel love. We need to feel the, you know, so the kids are not going to provide for, they're not going to apply any effort for someone who they feel like don't like them. They're going to be like, my teacher don't like me and I don't want to do it, you know? So if you have a kid that feels that way, then they're not going to show up the way they should, you know? And so I'm loving that you said that this teacher has that passion, because it's a few of them still out there. And I really just, like, applaud the teachers that are out there still doing the work, still showing up for kids, still showing the passion, because it is important for kids to feel love. It really is.
Yeah. And like earlier, maybe about an hour ago or so, because my daughter lives in Texas right now, but she's in town doing summer and doing the Christmas holiday. But it's just certain times where I just want her to know that daddy is thinking about her.
Yes.
So it's important, especially our fathers. I have to say this, I'm saying to our fathers, take the time. If the child's living with you or not, just say, hey, I'm thinking about you. I love you. And you just never know how much of an impact that can have, whether it's a boy or girl, that it can just make their whole day.
It is so important for, like you said, it don't matter if it's a boy or a girl, but it is so, so important for girls to feel that love from their father, for them to understand, because this is the first like male relationship, right? And so if daddy don't treat me right, then why would I expect any other man to treat me right? Right? Like I don't know who it was, but it was like someone famous, and he like bought his daughter flowers, and he was like, I'm buying my daughter flowers so that she can know how a woman needs to be treated. Like, if daddy buying me flowers, then you better buy me flowers, you know, like that. And I love that. Yes, it's so important. I did bring a book for your daughter. I was trying to make sure that we had her within the age range, but I wrote a book. Our Family's Doing Yoga.
Go ahead and show us, everybody can see.
Oh, yeah. Let me pick it up. So Our Family's Doing Yoga is the book that I wrote. It is a wonderful rhyming book. It's great for children of her age group. It'll be an easy read for her. But the greatest thing about it is that it has like some different ways that she can calm, some different ways that she can practice those things. There's yoga poses at the end. So definitely the book. And I also brought some yoga pose cards so that if she wants to do a little bit of yoga, she can.
This whole household is going to be so flexible by the end of the summertime.
Yeah. So this is for your daughter. I'm going to sit her over here.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
And make sure that I sign it before we leave.
Got you. No, I love it. So we found out who that one person was on YouTube.
Who is it? Oh, that is another family. I love you too, cousin.
And then we have this person.
Oh, and look at that. See, he was like, look, y'all gonna know who I am.
Said, proud of you, daughter. Your bio-spiritual father.
I love you too.
And let's see who we have here.
Oh, look at you. Y'all showing out today. They're showing out. This is my cousin's father, and he is amazing. They showing out.
Yes, they are. I love it.
That's my uncle. I love you too.
Once again, shouts out to everyone tuning in to Smoooth Conversations.
And thank you for leaving comments. It's really making me smile.
Yeah, there we go. See, look at them teeth. It's not a game here, y'all.
No, not at all.
So, you talked about earlier, not a whole lot right now, but we'll get right into it now. But looking back, how would you assess your overall childhood?
So that's interesting because there's so many different pieces to it. So many different pieces to it. Overall, I tell my mom all the time that I think I had a beautiful childhood. Like, I have so many wonderful memories from childhood. They are wonderful. I know a lot of people right now, and I don't know if you've seen how like it shows up in social media, but a lot of people are dealing with so much trauma. And it is definitely valid. Fortunately, I feel like I can't relate to a lot of it. And everything isn't trauma. Everything doesn't have to be trauma. So there were some things that, I would probably do differently, or if, as a parent, or I wouldn't have wanted that to happen during childhood. But the resilience that my mom had and her recovery, her repair, like if my mom snapped out on me and she would come back and be like, you know what, baby, that wasn't about you. Like her repair, she was amazing with it. And she gives me a chance to be who I am. I voice who I am. It doesn't always come out, and it's coming back to eat me, like my middle baby. Oh, I saw her the other day. I was like, ooh, if that's what they dealt with. But she allowed me to be myself. And she'll be like, I don't agree with you. Or if I don't agree, she allowed me to be myself. I don't ever want to get online or anything and like bash my family or anything like that. But I will say it wasn't easy. That's why I kind of love what you said about your daughter, because I did not have my biological father. I had a wonderful, my stepfather was wonderful, but biologically growing up, my dad was, he did the best he can. That's all I'm learning. He did the best he can. He struggled with alcoholism. Probably to this day, he would still struggle with alcoholism. He didn't know how to show up for me as a father. And I didn't think it was a problem until I became like an adult and started to realize, oh, that's why I do things like this. That's why I do things like that. But overall, I will always say, like, I knew my daddy loved me. You know, like he loved me the best he could.
Yeah.
He loved me. So I think I just had really a real fun. I was allowed to be a child. Like my mom lived in Northwoods. My dad lived in Pine Line. My dad lived with my grandma. So it was safe for me to go over there and hang out. I would ride my bike from my mom's house to my dad's house, hang out with my cousins, and then ride my bike back to my mom's house. We grew up in a community where you walked everywhere. Like there was a bowling alley up the street. There was
it's funny you said that because I used to live in Northwoods too.
Oh, really? So you know how it was growing up. And my best friend, she says all the time, because she grew up in the city on the north side. And she say, y'all Northwoods kids know y'all used to walk. Like, y'all was walking everywhere. And she was like, we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we walked everywhere.
So are you familiar with the street Lawler?
Yes.
So that's where we live.
Really?
My mom and I. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you got to be familiar with like Oak Ridge and
all that.
So we're like up on that part of.
Wow.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
My mom's.
Because our house was like pretty much in the middle of the street, and it was on the hill.
Yes.
So anytime it snowed, our street was undefeated, and cars not making it past our house.
Oh, not yet.
Anytime it snowed. Speaking of which, we understand that it may snow this upcoming weekend, so make sure y'all go ahead and prepare yourselves. It may happen, it may not, but prepare yourselves and praying for everyone, because I heard it might be snowing in Texas and in Florida and in New Orleans and Mississippi.
And if it's not snowing, it's supposed to be real cold.
Real cold, like, and cold, freezing rain and everything. So prayers up to y'all. But yes, my street, it was called the White House. It stood out, you know what I'm saying? And I would look outside, my mom and I look outside, and you see a car trying to come up that hill. They all confident, oh, we got it, we got it. And all of a sudden, dang.
Yes,
and it's like, it'd be a whole show out there.
In Northwoods, if it was snowing, just stay at home. Yeah. Just stay at home, because it's just hills out. Just stay at home.
And see, I used to walk from Lawler all the way to Umsel.
Hey, I went to Umsel, so I did that walk. Yeah. Yes.
We got some more comments coming up here. Let's see.
Oh, that's my friend from Memphis. She's the Memphis yoga superstar.
Okay, got Memphis in the house.
Yes, that's my cousin. She is a weightlifting queen. She's teaching me a little bit about weightlifting. Yes, she is dope. Yes.
Let's go.
Powerlifting.
Let's go. Shouts out once again to everyone who's tuned in. So like I said, being in Northwoods I was there for maybe good 10 years or so, you know. So with that being said, you said that your mom, that you was in Northwoods, your father was Pine Line, but you ended up going to Lindbergh.
So I went to Lindbergh.
So yeah. So talk about how that happened.
So it started because we lived, before my mom married, we lived in the city for Kings Highway in St. Louis Avenue. So that's where I started my my school relationship or school journey with Lindbergh. So I started there. I went to a school nearby, and the teacher spoke to my mom, and she was like, I don't think this is the environment for her. You probably should look at something else. For her safety and for her, to just blossom, maybe look into something else. So my mom found the DSEG program. So I don't know if you ever hear us, if you've been around us, we're like DSEG kids.
I have had, it was a stretch of guests that I had back in I want to say around August, in which every guest was part of a DSED program.
Yes. So we call ourselves the DSED kids. And so when she married, they moved to Northwoods. And so my mom was a teacher for Normandy School District, but I was already going to school in Lindbergh. And she was just like, yeah, you're just going to stay there. We going to stay there. Plus, she was a teacher in the district. So she just wanted to send me somewhere else. And so that's how that came. I'm 25, 30 plus years
you can say
old.
it now.
I can say it now. We used my cousin's address.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was in the beginning, it was all nice and pretty. My mom and my dad would get up and they would drive us to the bus stop and we would wait in the warm car. And then by the time I was like teenager, they was like, the city limits bus is, you catch it right there. We'll catch that to wherever. Like we learned, back then, like you could get on the bi-state and go in. It was bi-state back then.
Exactly.
Get on it and go anywhere. So yeah, and then I go to Lindbergh High School. And so, yeah. And then you get cool with the after school bus drivers and stuff, and they would drop me off a little bit closer to the city limits. So I'll be like, didn't have to go too far. But yeah.
So, all right. So we're being transparent. This is almost 30 years later myself.
Years.
You know what I'm saying? But when I was in Northwoods, I went to Bashan High School.
You did.
So before I started driving or getting rides and started driving, I used to take bi-state.
Yeah.
So imagine taking bi-state from Lawler, from pretty much Lucas and Hunt area, all the way down to Grand and Natural Bridge.
Yes.
And then taking Grand all the way down to Bell Avenue.
Yes.
Right there by Church's Chicken, we're at the Powell Symphony Hall. So imagine taking that bus ride. And I played sports, so I was playing basketball. So a lot of time I didn't get out till 8.
After dark.
9 o'clock.
Yes.
So imagine me being on the bus.
Yes. You couldn't do it now.
At nighttime.
Well, you wouldn't trust it now. But the kids pulling up in Ubers now.
There we go. Uber, call your peoples up, like, hey, or a teammate or whatever. But like for a year, I want to say for the whole year, but there was a stretch where I was waking up early, walking up the street, going to the bus stop, making sure I'm there on time.
Yeah.
And there was one time where I was on the bus heading to school and I overslept on the bus. And now luckily I only passed the stop maybe 2 blocks from my original stop. So I wake up, I'm like, why am I here at Central Performing Arts? Like the school I need to be at. I'm like, oh shoot, let me run up the street, catch the bus, made on time and everything. But yeah.
You never fell asleep on that bus again, did you?
Nah, I learned my lesson. But talk about for you, being in Northwoods is one thing, but then going to Lindbergh is something different. Talk about that for you, and was that a culture shock for you?
So I wouldn't necessarily say that for me, it was a culture shock for a lot of my friends. For me, it probably wasn't because I started so young. When I started going to school in Lindbergh School District, I was 8. So for my mom, there were a lot of things that she was very aware of. I was making friends and they were inviting me over for sleepovers and things like that. And I got the whole little spiel like, okay, they're going to invite you over, but you got, XYZ and this, you got to watch out for this and call me if this, and all of those things. But it wasn't so much of a culture shock at that time. But I will tell you that there were times that as I got older, and that's probably the thing, I probably was just like naive to it all when we were younger. By the time I got to middle school, I realized, oh, they don't want us here. Like they don't want us here. And the only reason why is because like the high school, they were like, we got word of it. They're doing walkouts at the high school. Like they're not, they walking out. They said they're not going to school, with these anymore and stuff like that. And so we would hear about it. And then we went into high school. And so our class, so 97, Lindbergh class of 97 and 98. 98 for real, but class of 98.
I have more comments coming in now.
So,
for real.
For real. But 97 and 98 kind of just blended together. We were just like one. That was the year where you didn't know who was graduating in what year. And so we were really close knit. 97 was the first year that I think there was, and they'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was an all-black prom court. And they boycotted the prom and decided that they wanted to have another prom, like because of that. We had to have Melanie was prom queen 1998.
Why am I not surprised?
You never know, like you never not know that because we say it all the time. But prom queen 1998, that was we had a black prom queen and a black prom king. And so you would see that things were changing because people are voting. You know, they have to vote these people in. It ain't just black people voting to get a whole prom queen and a whole prom king black. It had to be other people voting that wasn't black, you know, so you could see that there was change. But yeah, it still was so many people that just still didn't want us there. We had to form our own like groups. So like the groups that you would typically see, the cheerleaders and the pom groups and things like that, we didn't have a voice in those spaces. So we had to create our own. And thankfully, we had a wonderful vice principal. Her name was Sonia Pizza, and she was amazing. And she like took us under her wing, helped us form a group that Melanie headed called Minority Achievement. And we marched in pep rallies. We did the thing there. So we created our own spaces. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say culture shock, but it took some adjusting. What I do with my friends and I, we like to sit back and we kind of talk about how it helps me to be the person that I am going to school. So I know how to move in any room. I can move in just about any room and like feel overall comfortable. And I am not a this is for them and this is for us type person. Like I'm gonna go camping. Currently, my kids are skiing with the Black Skiers of St. Louis. We're gonna try new things. We're gonna try things that people say is not for us. And I don't know if I would be that person if I wasn't in spaces where I saw it happening. And I was like, oh, if they can do it, we can do it. Oh, if they can do that, then I can do it. So I'm always trying to do something out of the box just because, like, we can do it too.
And I like that because when I grew up in school, I went to a private Christian school where I was already around other races. You know what I'm saying? But then when I went to high school, that's when I went to Bashan. And, you know, that's like 99.9%.
Right.
You know, but I also do encourage for our youth to be able to diversify themselves.
Yes, it's important.
Because like my daughter, she goes to a school, of course, in Texas, Andy Woods, and she's the minority. But at the same token, she's going to get so much exposure being around others and being around that district that she's not going to be confined to just one path. And not saying that black schools are like that, but it's just good to have that diversity where you're not surprised if you run into a white person.
Exactly. It's not a culture shock.
If you run into someone who speaks Spanish, you're not surprised if you run into someone who's Jamaican, you know, whatever it is.
And you realize that under it all, people are really just people. You know, like you really realize under it all, people are just people. So my son is heading to high school this year, and I told you I work in Ladue School District, and so I've been in Ladue School District for over 20 years. And prior to that, I just knew he would go to school, and prior to him starting school, I just knew he would go to school in Ladue. And so, but I worked part-time when he was born. I started working part-time, so that wasn't the case. So we, at the time, will live in Ferguson, Florissant. And so he went to school there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, all the opportunities that he get, because like we said, I went to Lindbergh, but I lived in Normandy School District. So I didn't have friends when I get home that lived in the neighborhood with me and things like that. So it was really cool to see that he had friends that lived in the neighborhood. He can go down to the community center and play ball with his friends and things like that. There were some other things that like I said, we could talk for hours that I won't like go into right now, but some other things that I realized was really great for him to be able to go to school with people that look like him. Now he's heading to high school, and he's looking at private high schools, and you know St. Louis. So if we're looking at private high schools, you know that not a lot of them, there's a few, but not a lot of them are very diverse.
Right.
And so I'm a little afraid. I'm becoming a little more at ease at it now, but I was really afraid. And a friend told me, don't be. There is no reason for you to be afraid. You have laid the foundation. The culture is at home. The culture is in the community. He's not going to lose it. The culture is surrounded. He's surrounded by the culture. Let him go get that good education and get that diverseness that you had when you were growing up so that he could be a well-rounded young man.
Right.
And I was like, oh, you're right. Thank you for
Train
that.
up a child, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I feel you on that. That's definitely well, first we all pray that he has an amazing start.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, coming up to the school year. But yeah, like your friend was saying, let go, let God.
Yes.
And it's our job as parents to get them ready.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Get them ready for all different levels that these kids are going to face. So definitely best of luck. But man, do you ever look back now like, man, I'm a whole parent doing this, doing that?
These kids don't know who I was before. No, these people don't know who I was. Man, when I say but God, but the practice of yoga, like honestly, I've always been I feel like, yeah, you let me know. But I feel like I've always been a sweet person. I feel like that I've just always been a kind person. But I'm strong-willed and and I've toned back a lot since becoming a parent. And
okay, so pretty much you saying when you was in high school
and college. Oh yeah. Yeah. We will leave the past behind.
They be like, oh Lord, here goes SonJoria. All right, so what did everyone call you in high school?
I've always been called SonJoria, but I had a temper. I had a temper. I had a temper. I was a fighter. And you would never guess that. But yeah, I had a temper and I was a fighter. You had to push me, but you pushed me and we could throw hands. I have graduated from that phase of life.
I bet your kid I want to see the receipts. Show me the receipts. So I know you said that you were doing pep rally. I mean, dancing. What was it? What you call it?
We call it minority achievement, but it was just like a mixed group, with dance.
Okay.
We did dance. We did community work. We did all kinds of things.
Okay. Were you involved in any other groups or activities while at Lindbergh?
Specifically at Lindbergh, no. I worked my way through high school just because I wanted some money. And so so whenever things came up, I just didn't have the bandwidth to participate. But minority achievement was my main thing. I did a lot of stuff in school, so a lot of community service and things like that. My mom kept us in Matthew Dickey's growing up.
Yes.
Oh, we stayed at Matthew Dickey's.
Yes.
I did acting classes at Matthew Dickey's, summer camp at Matthew Dickey's, cheerleading at Matthew Dickey's. I was doing it all. So she kept us involved in something different. We were always exposed to different things. So a lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of this. I didn't have anything that I would say I did this for a long period of time, but I did a little bit of everything.
Were you part of the St. Louis internship program?
I was.
I was too.
I was. Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, good times. Boy, everyone had to come in wearing the men had everyone had the blue blazer
and
on.
The khaki.
Ladies had the khaki skirts. Men had the khaki skirts. Men had the khaki pants.
And I had to walk through Northwoods because I was a bus catcher. Wow. So I had to walk through Northwoods Park with that little ugly uniform.
Oh man, those were some days.
But you know what's funny is I did my internship, one of them, at Express Scripts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. My first one was at the police academy downtown.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did time there, not time in the wrong way. They put it out there right now. I'm not a criminal, but I worked with them, worked for, whatever. Did some kind of reception type work, had to log in certain things. Then I worked at the one that's off of Jefferson, like Jefferson Delmore. I was at that station for a minute.
Okay.
Then I eventually moved over to like this printing company that's like off of Olive downtown. That was cool. That was just summer job, whatever. Then eventually the zoo. I used to what was that? What's the name of that restaurant? Everyone who's watching, what's the big restaurant right there in the middle? The big restaurant at the zoo.
I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I don't know the name of it. It was that one.
It's like right by the sea lions and everything. Yes. That one right there. So yeah, but it helped me to learn how to handle corporate America. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like I had my first internship the summer of my freshman year.
Yes.
And from that time, I always worked.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. I knew about how to work, how to be professional, the whole nine. So between that, now I know some people had Slate.
Yes, I was thinking about Slate. Yes, yeah. Some people had Slate. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't even know, and I'm pretty sure it's some out there. But let us know in the comments if there's any programs like that nowadays
for the youth.
You don't really hear it as much like you heard back then. I only heard two things: St. Louis internship and Slate.
Yes.
So let us know for those who may not be aware, because these kids need as much exposure to know how to handle the real world, which. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say also like the business owners just recognizing that you can offer those opportunities for the youth. Like my aunt she had a beauty shop, and my family, they own Diners Delight. Shout out to Diners Delight on Compton. They own Diners Delight. So my sister and my brother, they worked at Diners Delight after school. I worked as a shampoo girl after school. But these are business owners in the community who are having teens come in and do work. Like it's still like, don't think that as an entrepreneur you can't give back. Like that's another way to have the youth come in and do some work. They learning how to do and they learn it from an entrepreneur. And we don't need that, because the way our economy is going and the way things is going, we need these kids to know how to run a business.
And it goes back, because you brought up something earlier about how, these kids don't have the lack of training.
Yes.
And especially in the workforce, how we just go to a fast food spot, restaurants, and you just see the lack of, see, look at your face. It's true. And it's one of my pet peeves. It's like, how can you want a customer service job but don't know how to provide customer service?
And they don't provide the training anymore. Like that. I mean, just think about when we were in school, the things that we learned these things in school, like how to show up professionally, how to do. They don't have a clue these days. And I saw something on TikTok where this girl was like going live, and she was talking about like, they sent me home because I had this on, and it was like what she wore to the interview, and they told her to come back with something better. And I'm like, well, girl, they gave you a chance to come back. Like, no, that's not appropriate to wear to an interview. But she really thought that they were in the wrong. But they don't know. Like, we had class. I mean, not too many people using checkbooks anymore. But remember, we used to learn how to balance a checkbook in school and things like that. And so it's funny when we think about like how it was when we were growing up, and then you think about our parents, and when you guys don't know nothing. You didn't know we did this, we did that. So every generation has it. That every generation has it. But it does seem like it's just. Some of it is just change, and we have to welcome the change. And some of it is you got to lay the foundation in your home, because you can't expect society to do it.
And then it's to the point now, like you said, with the economy, that parents are now having to have 3 or 4 jobs. So now it's so hard to even be around your kids, to even be there to show them the way.
Yes, I'm blessed that my husband, he works his butt off, and I'm able to be there when my kids leave for school and be there when my kids return from school. I work a flexible schedule, but it's sacrifice. Like you said, like I read something the other day. I think it was on, it's like data shows that like in order to like maintain a one family income for, I think it might've been like a family of 3, like $75,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like we be sacrificing. But I'm up for the sacrifice because I believe that it's important for my kids to have that. Everybody can't do it. So like I said, I'm blessed that I can. But it's important for kids to have some type of foundation to be able, like, we had we were latchkey kids. Like we had a key around our neck. I was letting myself in the house at 7 years old, like popping a meal in the microwave. But the kids are different too now. Like you might come home and your house be burnt down.
Right. And I've always said that we're living in a time where it's like the microwave society. Kids are just expecting this to.
Yes.
How important is it from your perspective to see the youth go through struggles and then be able to see the reward from continuing to fight through?
Oh, I love that. That is so important when we talk about just like resilience in general and being able to, and I think it's important to point out to them, like, I see your struggle. I see that you're going through this, but just wait a little while, keep persevering, and you're going to come out. And then when they come out on the other side, revisit that. Like, it felt like it was hard while you were going through it, but how does it feel now that you done pressed through and you overcame it? I love it because there are so many stories of children that are because people be like, stress, you hear this all the time, stress. Kids don't have no stress. I was a kid once. I had stress. Kids do have stress. They do deal with stuff. You don't know what these kids are going through. You don't know what kid is going home to a cooked meal and what kids don't know where their next meal gonna come from. My daughter was telling me a story about a friend or a peer that is at school, and she comes to school and something about like her face not being washed. And I was like, oh, that's really unfortunate. You don't know if this kid has hot water when she goes home or water at all. So like take that into account. So kids do live with stress. We can't discount that. But being able to, once again, we're circling back, giving them the tools to be able to cope with that stress, being able to manage it, because some things they shouldn't even have to go through. They shouldn't have to deal with, but it is what it is. So how are we going to manage it? Because if we all are angry and we grow up to be angry adults, and we're shooting up schools, or we're shooting up places of work or homes. Like it's too many stories about children like turning on their parents.
Right.
Like I'm just like, wow. So yeah, like starting there, awarding them when they do good, And I believe in, and argue with your mama, but I believe that kids do deserve mental health days. I am not the perfect attendance mama. I am not. My baby, they got a incentive going right now. And I was like, well, you might not make that unless you want to. Like, if you want to do it, we'll shoot for it. And she was like, I'm not really worried about it. I said, I'll make sure that you go skating for the, Yeah. But if they don't feel well, or if it's just a really rough, like we had a situation where we were out really, really late. It was a lot going on with it. And my kids didn't get a full night's sleep. Don't no teacher want a child walking in grouchy and crabby, and I got to deal with that
and everything.
Exactly. So I believe I am an advocate for, yes, kids do deserve mental health days, and that's up to the parents to decide if they need it or not, and when they need it, and they talk to the kids about it. But I don't believe that the school should push that they no days off type. That's not.
And one of the most talked about topics that I have on Smoooth Conversations, just because it's just part of the conversation, but is mental health. And we talk about the kids, but let's talk about even us and how that's been so much on the forefront, in our culture, or, just all in the world overall. We're seeing people committing suicide, doing this, doing that. You can be a celebrity, you can just be whatever. How important is it for us to just take that time, like I said about my daughter, saying, hey, texting you, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. How important is it for us as adults to reach out to one another and just give out a wellness check? Like, hey, I just want to see how you're doing.
It's super important, and it's super, it's difficult. It's really important, but it's difficult. I started in my wellness journey because of I was pregnant. I struggled with some perinatal depression. I had my child. I still was struggling. I couldn't figure it out. I turned to meditation, and I walked my way into yoga and being a yoga instructor. And so I found my peace there. But then, it's a constant battle. Like, I don't think anybody ever overcomes, like, you're at a space where you're always going to be level when it comes to wellness. But how do we address it? And one of the things that a couple of friends about me and a couple of friends have done is that we have instilled like a code word. So if I text you cold blue, then I ain't got to say much, but I need you to show up for me, whether it's a call, whether it's a very engaging text, whether you just pull up to the house. But code blue means it's a rough day. And I have several spaces where I can tap into that. And I think it's important to be able to identify that person or those people, preferably more than one person, that you know is going to show up for you. And then secondly, to have something as simple as code this or a color or a number or whatever, a code word, whatever it is, because not all the time are we in a space where we can talk about it. I might not want to talk about it. I might just need somebody to be in a space with me. And if I could just say the code word and I need you, then show up. I think it's really important. I think it's super important for Black men. I think, and I'm not a Black man, I'm a woman, so I can only speak from what I see. But I think it's really hard for Black men to show up in spaces and be vulnerable like that. It's really, like, what do you think about?
Oh, no, I 1000% agree. And that's why I brought it up, because I remember a conversation I had with someone I've known since childhood. And he called me and just something just wanted me to ask about his situation. It was just something that was on me. I'm like, man, let me just ask you, how's this going? And then he just let out some things that he'd been bottling in. And he felt like he was less of a man because of this, because of that. And so I just spoke life to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, don't put that pressure on yourself. It's the reason why you're blessed to be in this situation, the whole nine. And like, you can tell through the phone that he kind of had like, that I'm glad I got that out.
Yes.
And like you said, it's so important for us men, because one of our biggest downfalls in regards to health is heart.
Yes.
And if we are stressing ourselves out, if we're not taking giving ourselves a break,
yes,
like you say with your kids, sometimes you gotta take that day off.
Yeah.
We have to take, especially getting up in 40s, 50s, the whole nine, we have to find ways to take more breaks and just release.
Yes.
And like I said, no matter how old you get, no matter who you are, you just never know how much it can affect someone's day. Mm-hmm. If someone that's out the blue, you may not have heard from them for a year, but out the blue, hey man, I'm just calling to see how you're doing.
Yes.
You just never know how much that can impact someone's life.
That, a smile at someone at the grocery store, like all of those things, they add what happened to the days where you could speak to your neighbor and you could just chat about something, or you go, now everybody is like straight. They don't want to speak to anybody on the side. And I get it. I have those days where I'm like, oh Lord, let me just keep going. But I would like to think that 90% of the time I'm going to give a smile. I'm going to give, have that, because people, you don't know how to change if you just tell somebody, your hair is really pretty today. And it's genuine, but sometimes we just don't speak it. Another thing is just physical wellness in general. Like I was walking my dog not too long ago, and a neighbor, a couple of streets down, was like, hey, look at you. And he was like, I wish I could. I can't walk past this driveway. And I think he really meant it. And I was like, I need you to get outside and just walk a little. So today I'm at the grocery store and the lady had a cane and she was walking. And she said, I'm so glad I was able to walk today, because usually I get in the little courts. And I said, I'm happy to see you out here walking. Even if you need the court from time to time, that's fine. But she trying to walk. And I think that it's important, because I say all the time, if you don't, we hear it. It's a saying. If you don't use it, you lose it, right?
Yeah.
That's with our mental health. That's with intelligence. That's with our physical health. You have to actually use the stuff in order to not lose it. And even if it's just simple, like walk down to the driveway a couple of times, keep yourself moving. Keep yourself moving.
Yeah, and And I'll tell you now from personal experience, man, it does exist because I don't have enough fingers and toes. How many times I'm out with my wife and a random woman, sometimes even a man, sometimes even a white man would be like, your skin is so beautiful. You are so beautiful. Or she have on some shoes. Look, girl, you were rocking them shoes.
Mhm.
So it does exist.
Yes.
While the whole time, like, am I even here? I know I'm dark, but am I invisible? I mean, they talking to her.
Well, she is gorgeous.
Hey, I'm blessed. I'm blessed with the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'll be like, do they even see me? Do I even exist?
And she
they
has
like,
a beautiful smile.
But now some be like, oh, just so you know, no disrespect. I'm like, nah, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I'm good. That just, reaffirms why she my wife.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So, and I love that.
And see, that's the mindset that we need to have more of when I speak to men. We need to have that mindset.
You better say it.
Truthfully, because, and I always say this too, and we get to you and your marriage very soon as well, but I always say, if you pray for something all your life and you got it, you better keep on thanking the Lord in public and private all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because as you've seen this life, things can change just like that.
Yes.
You know, I was telling her before the show about how my house, our house, was affected by a tornado, but it wasn't as bad as our neighbors and other areas. And our lives could have changed like dramatically. It could have been so much worse. You know what I'm saying? If the wind would have blew a little bit more to the right.
Yes.
And it was like 15 people here in this house at the same time.
Can I ask you, now this is going into a personal to you, but tapping into what you just said, is there ever, or was there ever like any like survivor's remorse or guilt around that? Like, okay, my neighbors that could have happened to us, but we're still able to walk into our home and you're looking and feeling like, oh dang, like.
So our neighbor, shouts out to him, I'll just call him Q. And when I talked to him, because I can tell that he wants to come back home. And like he was given a rental property, like not too far from the house, and he has he has a nice sized family. And from what he told me, it was that the house doesn't fit the size of the family, especially where he, this came from. So, when I talked to him, do I feel bad? Yeah, because, two things. I'm grateful because once again, it could have been right. It could have been worse. Could have been us. The whole nine. But there are I do feel bad because it's like, what if I was in his shoes?
Yes.
What if I didn't have all my production equipment that I have here and it was all gone?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? My whole DJ production, maybe things could have still been okay for certain aspects. Yeah. Certain things could have been taken away.
Yeah.
And that's when it's so important for those to always thank God.
Gratitude.
You know what I'm saying? Thank him for mercy.
Yes.
Because once again, it could always be worse.
Right. And then it's always some, I deal with a lot and I try to stay smiling and, and I'm always trying to see like the silver lining. And I have a few friends that always like point that out to me. And I'm glad that they can see it because it always could have been worse. Situations can always be worse. And just thinking about your neighbor, how even with all of that, and that's like really, really disheartening. But even with that, their family is safe. It's just like my car was wrecked recently. I wasn't in it. I was working and someone hit it. And I get home and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's the second time it's been wrecked in like less than or maybe a little over a year. So I get home and I'm just like a little frustrated about it. And my baby says, dang, Ma, I'm so glad you wasn't in it. And I was like, thank you. Like sometimes it takes the kids to be like, you know what, it's okay. And then the silver lining came like a day or two later, because I believe everything happens for a reason. That's just when I believe everything happens for a reason. Whether I know what it is or whether it's later, I truly believe that. And so some things are revealed to us right away and some things, it take a while. But yeah,
that's true. I definitely agree. Everything happened for a reason. I always say, well, I usually say another statement, but something came to me today. But if everything in my life was by the book, I wouldn't be with my wife right now. You
Mm.
know, if I wanted to be this huge basketball player star and would have went to a college outside of St. Louis and did this with my music, you know, when I was in a band or whatever it was, we would have never met.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And would I be fulfilled in certain areas? Probably so. But maybe there may be that one part of my life that's missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but once again, fellas, I encourage y'all. Ladies, y'all too, of course. You know, y'all ain't left out of this, but appreciate who y'all have. Appreciate it. Don't take advantage of it. Cherish it. You know, every second. Because once again, one moment is, you know, y'all have that go to bed and don't talk to each other, and then next morning he or she may not wake up. And you're gonna be living with regret your whole life saying, I wish I would have said I love you before you went to bed tonight.
Yeah.
It's the small things like that.
Yeah.
Once again, Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. I need everyone right now to use your devices. Scan the QR code on the top right of your screen. If you just tuned in listening, you can't do that right now. It's all good. Just go to smoothproductions.com. Once again, smooth with 3 O's. Because if you put in 2, you ain't gonna find no one smooth like me. I'm just saying. So check out the website, scan the QR code, follow me, check out all the links, the website, the whole 9. Everything is right there. You can book me for your event, DJing, photography, anything about production. I got y'all. Ask her and her mama.
Yes, ask us. Ask us.
but no, that was dope because I was going to ask you, you know, how, you know, because I think at that day she wasn't feeling too good. You know, so I was like, oh, you know, I could tell the energy from her wasn't how she wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I could tell she was like very particular, you know, and making sure this and that and that and that. But I'm glad that she commented, and then you also said that she still to this day, you know, still say how much she had a great time. So that's amazing. That's dope. So going back to this photo right here, talk about this photo and just the overall, cause I know you said earlier about seeing other races, you know, doing this, doing that in regards to yoga, but not really pertaining to us. Talk about your reason, your why on choosing yoga and doing what you're doing now.
So, I shared a little bit of the backstory. The backstory started with my perinatal postpartum journey, and I was struggling. I had one child and was pregnant with the second, and we definitely tried for our children. So I couldn't understand why I was struggling so hard. Now I kind of understand. It's just chemical, you know. It's just like it's nothing that was controllable for me. But I was struggling, and my baby had once said, "Mama, you always smiling. Why you always smiling?" And at this point in my life, I didn't feel like I was always smiling. So I started trying to figure out, you know, now, you know, in our community, we don't want to be medicated. We don't want to, you know, things like that. So I was fighting against like going to properly be diagnosed and get medication. Nobody had at this point. I had had multiple doctor's appointments, and they would be like, "You're fine." Even when I kind of like tried to advocate that I don't feel like I'm fine, they would be like, "No, you're fine. You look good today." Well, you know, so I had to, as we tend to have to do, advocate for myself. And so I started to look for ways that were non-medicated ways. And I don't speak against medication because I have several friends who are benefiting from it. And if I ever need it one day, I will definitely utilize it. I am an advocate for therapy. I am an advocate for what makes you feel good in the healthiest manner. But I found yoga. I found yoga through meditation. We'll start there. Mindfulness, calming my mind and things like that. My children wanted to become like active, and because I am an educator by profession, we looked for ways to include them in the practice. Being a mom of young children, so I'm like, our family's doing yoga is because like I truly believe as a mom, in order for you to do any for me, so I'm speaking from my experience. In order for me to do anything consistently, I have to get the whole family involved. And I found that in childhood, when my mom got everybody involved, we did things together and we did it consistently. So family wellness was the thing. And so we're looking for things and books and resources, videos, and we didn't see many that showed people that look like us. And at the time, and still, I want my children to see themselves represented in everything they do. And it's not just for them, but for myself too. Like, so I told I think it started with, I'm trying to remember the timeline. I think it started with, I said to my husband, I would like to pursue my certification in yoga training. And I told him that because I wanted to learn more about it for myself. But I told him, it'll bring some extra income in. I prettied it up all good.
You say that. He gonna be like, where can I sign you up at right now?
Prettied it up and everything. And so I started there. And so my son we can't find any books with people, so we'll just write our own. And so that's how the book went forth. And I was doing like donation-based yoga in the park. And I got my certification while I was pregnant with my third child. So that forced me. And you know what really sticks to this day, and I tell people this in my prenatal yoga classes and everywhere. The difference between my second pregnancy and my third pregnancy is tremendous. And the things that I see is that during my third pregnancy, I was forced to practice yoga because I was getting my certification. So I was forced to practice mindfulness. I was forced to have time to myself for up to 7 hours on some days, where I'm just sitting in training, just focusing on what it would be like to take care of me and also to help take care of the community where I'm learning the tools, And that was one of the best. I still had some physical stuff, but mentally, that was probably one of the easiest pregnancies, just being the fact that I took care of my well-being. So I am just a advocate for, and you don't have to find it in yoga. It doesn't have to be yoga. I do have to put out there, because I've been getting a lot of pushback recently. And my family, we grew up as Christians. So I am that. I believe in God. We, all of those things, but we get a little pushback from the Christian community because it's said that, we're worshiping other deities, other gods and things like that. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. We are truly out here. Most of us, I can't speak for everybody, but every yoga teacher that I know, we are out here trying to support the community and help us be well in a way that, we might not be used to, we might not be familiar with. And it's just mindfulness. It's just really tapping into yourself, being aware of how you feel and being able to just go within, focusing on your breathing, focusing, stretching. And, I try not to forget about the roots of yoga. Now, it does come from different cultures, and it just depending on who you are, you believe that, the roots are rooted in South Asia, but then there's people who feel that it's rooted in Africa when you can talk about Kemetic yoga. So whatever yoga you're practicing, I think that it's important to at least mention the roots. But I'm not Hindu, so I'm not teaching anybody how to be a Hindu, to worship any, other gods or anything. We don't even talk about that in my yoga classes. But I have to say that because it's been a lot of pushback recently, and I don't want people to forget that people are out here hurting. People are struggling. Our mental health is not okay. And whatever there's different paths to all different ways. And if yoga is the path that someone chooses, let them choose that. Let them take that path. This photo is so interesting. You just found all the photos, huh? This one is very interesting because this is what I say all the time, people don't know what people were going through. I was in such a deep depression during this time.
Wow.
Such a deep depression. And I was trying my best to find any way to just feel like myself again. And so it's really interesting. It almost makes me like a little bit teary-eyed when I look at the pictures and just kind of see how far I've come and just remember. But during that time, at the same time, I still was able to see the blessings in my life. And, it can be the same. You can be blessed and still be dealing with a hard time, dealing with some darkness in your life. But yeah.
How many times, or has there been a time where after a class, someone may have came to you and said, this was exactly what I needed. Thank you for what you do.
So I don't get as much of that in person as I get online. So I get a lot of people reach out to me, and it could just be like a discomfort, when it's in person. But I get a lot of people reach out to me online, and they're like, I do have a YouTube channel. I need to do better with it. But my kids and we were watching your YouTube channel and doing some things. Thank you so much for that. What I really feel like really speaks volumes for like my regular classes that I teach is when people keep coming back. And it's like, oh yeah. And then they'll say little things like, this is my favorite part of class. This is what really makes me feel good. And, they'll say things like that. But a lot of time, and it feels really good when I like pull up a message and someone is like, I really appreciate what you're doing. It just really does. So when you're on here saying comment, like the comments mean a lot to you, we need to hear those things out loud. What did you say? Give the people the flowers while they're here, and don't wait till they're gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had the pleasure of having a few shows ago another lady who's big in yoga. Shouts out to Fluid.
Oh, I know Fluid. I met her. She is such a beautiful spirit. Yeah. Yes.
And I asked her about the men turnout for yoga, because certain men may be like, oh, that's yoga. Come on, I'm a man. I'm a man's man. I don't do that kind of stuff. So have you seen the turnout in men with yoga, and how has that been for them?
So I told you, I'm in the family, like I try to stay in my zone.
Yeah.
I teach adult yoga for like events and things like based like that. But regularly, I don't teach adult classes. Okay. But I regularly
right.
practice yoga at the Collective. Have you heard of the Collective?
It sounds familiar.
The Collective Yoga Studio, which is off of North Market Street. It is owned by it's a donation-based yoga studio. It's owned by us for us. Nice. It is started with, now there's been a lot of intertwining lately, but it started with 4 educators, 2 men, 2 women. And when I say the men show up and show out, if you ever get a chance to practice with the Collective, please do. It is just a whole nother vibe. And shout out to like Lonzo and Terry. They are 2 of the owners of the Collective. Lonzo does yoga with bros. And he has rooms of men like show up and do yoga. And just the way they reach out to even the young men, like they reach, when my son is around, he knows that he's acknowledged. Like they're in there like, hey, they always talk, when they talk to my kids, they're like, black kids do yoga. What's up, black kids do yoga? And like my son just smiles. But to be able to see, you would never hear my son say that yoga is not for men. Because he sees men do yoga. If you come to the Collective, I can guarantee that if not half, a good portion, a good third of that class is full of men.
So we're gonna call them out right now, because all I've heard you say so far in regards to yoga is your kids. What about your husband?
My husband, he will practice yoga with us as a family. So if there's an event and we're like, hey, there's an event going on and it's yoga, you know, will you go with us? He'll go with us. He supports me as a yoga instructor. Yoga is not really his thing. He hasn't, that's why I said you got to find your thing. It's not really his niche. He's done yoga with me before I became a yoga teacher. And he was like, oh my goodness. He, like in the middle of the class, there's, we taught it, we went to like Nico. I don't know if you're familiar with Nico, but she's a DJ and she does, so she teaches yoga. And we went to one of her classes, like, I think maybe like 2015, maybe 2014. And we're in a class and he was like, oh, I gotta give y'all props. This is hard. Like, you know, you look at yoga, you be like, oh, it ain't that hard. He was like, oh, this stuff is hard. Yeah. But he will show up for us when we ask him. But I'm hoping that one day, like, it becomes just like a full-on family practice. I've done some videos with him. He has like back pain, so I've done some videos where I like do the story of yoga.
Because my wife and I, we both suffered through some back issues, and when we went to Melanie's recent, 4K, 5K event last year, and my first time seeing you in action doing yoga, and I should have went on and did it. But my wife did it. She was like almost front row or close to y'all. Yes. And I just saw the experience. I'm like, maybe I need to stop getting it in my way and start doing it too, because maybe my body will start feeling a lot more looser and better if I start doing more yoga.
I promise you won't feel awkward at the collective. It's yoga like 6 days a week, 6 nights a week. My favorite is because of my schedule. I love Neo Soul Yoga it's on Sundays at 1:00.
And see, I didn't even know this, but I played Neo Soul for you earlier this morning for the promo.
Yes. See? Neo Soul Yoga is live band. Yeah. They're like, it's a vibe. And then on Saturday mornings, they have yoga for the people. Mondays, they have power yoga. There's, hip hop yoga. Like, it's all in there. And it's not just about, we talked a little bit about how, like, we have to have a connection to feel like we want to show up in spaces and things like that. So even in this space, when you show up, you hear, this is actually there right there. It's actually an event that the collective does where they like partner with the Missouri History Museum, and they do it. They actually did one recently. They do every year. They do a MLK yoga at the History Museum, and then they do a series twice in the summer. And so this is actually one of the events. But you see all the people, right? And you wouldn't expect a yoga event to look like that, you know, but yes, this is us after this. So that's what I was going into. This is after the event. So after the event, we're outside, we're eating, we're fellowshipping, we're dancing, we're having a good time. When you're in the middle of the class, they'll say like, turn to your neighbor and say, what's up? You know, like you ain't got to be showing up and feeling like really shy. Like, it's like community. It's what we are used to. And so I love the collective. They will always be near and dear. I'm a teaching partner. I teach kids yoga for the collective. So always near and dear to my heart. So you got to come out. Yeah. You and Jamie.
And speaking of the wifey, and I got to go ahead and promote this. You know, she has her not-for-profit Girls for Life. Yes. Y'all need to connect.
Yes, we've been like, you know how things are.
Y'all need to go ahead and make that happen. Because I think that the young ladies who is a part of her, her Girls for Life, make sure y'all check that out. G4WillSTL.org, or just put in Girls for Life, girls with the Z at the end, on Facebook, Instagram. Check it out. Be a part of it, the movement. Join the movement. But I believe that having that, it'll be different for the young girls to see.
Yes.
Because, and like you said, man, adults and kids, they have so much that they're going through. So just having a session for a good half an hour or so, whatever it can be, whatever it is, it could change them.
Yes.
Now, something else that I wanted to talk to you about is when I saw you do the whole sound thing. So talk about that, and, where did that come from, and talk about the importance of that.
So sound healing, I am not I'm not certified in it, but I do a tour that it's a yoga and book tour. It's called The Black Kids Do Yoga, and it's a book tour. And I travel to different places. And so the first year that I put it on, I reached out to a high school friend who does sound baths, and I had experienced sound baths before. It is really invigorating. It is just like you relax. It deeply relaxes the vibration of the sound moving through your body, and just how you can just go into a Zen zone. And so I really enjoyed it. And I wanted the kids to have a chance to experience this. It kind of gives you that. We talked a little bit about like how we don't know what a baseline of what our body should feel like when it's calm. It's like when you get there and you figure out, oh, this is what I should feel like. And then you can be able to check in when you don't feel like that. So I asked a friend to come and do a sound bath for the kids for my kickoff of my tour. And we kicked it off at the Collective. And so we had about 15 kids, and their parents were coming, trickling in and out. And towards the end, her name is Angela. Angela came at the end, and she brought all the sound instruments. She had her bowls, she had her chimes, she had her drums, she had like, I don't even know the name of all of these things, but she had it all. And she just played, and you could see everyone just deeply relaxed. And the kids afterwards talked about like, I could feel the vibration through my body. And, you know, like they were sharing little things. And so I was like, this is something that I want to incorporate in all of my classes. Like, I want people to get a little bit of it every time. Mm-hmm. And so shout out to my best friend, Aisha. She went and bought me sound bowls. I already had like the little Tibetan singing bowls, mm-hmm. but she went and got me the big ones, and I got like 10 of them. And so she purchased that. She was like, friend, I want you to, when I say my people, they invest in me. She said, friend, I want you to be able to get better at this and use it. So I asked Angela, I was like, can you come like give me a class, help me figure out how to do this? And so I just kind of like go with the flow, what she's telling me, but the feedback is always good. I have one prenatal client that says that is the reason why she keeps coming back. That's her favorite part of the class at the end, where she gets to deeply relax and listen to the sound bowl. I got another one that says, I don't know if my baby really like it or not. Like, she's kicking and moving. I haven't figured it out. I always say it's either something you love or something that you don't, but it is a way to just relax, deeply relax. And everything is through vibration, everything. And so just being able to connect with the sound through the vibration, and it vibrates through your body and just takes you to another level of calm. I have to get y'all.
Yeah.
I played them at the Fit Family Walk, and right. And it seemed to do the job.
Anytime it got quiet, because it was sometimes other people weren't following instructions. Yeah. I'm like, this woman said, "Be quiet."
Yeah, but
it's all good. Definitely all good. So we're gonna go ahead and shift gears right here on Smoooth Conversations, because we've been talking about some, mental health, talking about our days in regards to childhood and how we had to be free and how it's different now. Talk about the yoga, but talk about this photo right here and how this person changed your life.
Oh my gosh, you found the photos. You were just really digging. So that's my husband, SonJoria Sydnor. And me and my husband, we met when we were 13, turning 14,
that's what's up.
On the streets of Diber in Northwoods, Missouri.
Wow, young love right there.
Yes. And we have been dated on and off until we got married in 2006. And now we're raising 3 beautiful children together.
So you got to tell everyone, how did he approach you, or did you approach him? Because you're not for what you said earlier, that you were someone that, you'll talk if need be. Yeah.
So I tell this story all the time. I don't know if he sees the same, but I think he does. And I always say, so when
go ahead and comment, Joanne. Go ahead and comment.
When we did our engagement invites, I said, this is how he fell for me. That's so the story behind him falling for me, in quotes, fall, is that I told you we were like 13, turning 14. So I was riding my bike down the street that I lived on, and he was hanging out at his friend's house. And at his friend's, they kind of looked outside and they saw me like riding down the street. So you know how you and your boys was back then, like whoever get to it first, you know? So I guess he called claim, but when they all ran out the door, he slipped and fell.
Oh.
So he was the last one out the door. And so I always say how he fell for me. Now, fast forward. Now I grew up very, my mom, I couldn't talk to boys on the phone at the age of 13. Like we couldn't have no boyfriend or anything like that. So when he asked me for whenever a boy asked me for my number back then, I would always be like, no, but I'll take yours. And so when he asked me for my number, I said, nah, but I'll take yours. So he wrote the number down. I had it. And I didn't think nothing of it. I wasn't like, I had it. I wasn't pressed to call or anything. And then a couple of weeks later, maybe a month later, I don't know, I was like walking down the street with my cousin and it was these boys working on a roof. And they were like, hey, girl, hey, girl, blah, blah, blah. So we started talking to him and I look up on the roof and I'm like, oh. Like he working, like he got a tank top on, his arms look nice. I'm like, oh.
This sound like what's that? The movie Boaz and Ruth the Boaz movie.
I haven't seen it. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
No, I gotta check that out.
You gotta watch it.
So he said, I'm like, oh, his arms is nice. Like he look, and so they're steady talking, and he was like, I gave you my number, and I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't call. I'm gonna call you. So I eventually called, and we've been like best friends ever since. Like really, like, and like I said, it's been an on and off relationship up until we got married. And so like he was there for me through some other relationships.
Wow.
Like yeah, like we jail. And
it was destined.
Yeah,
it was destined because from y'all to come from that moment to come to this day right here. Talk about it.
Okay, so that is my aunt and my uncle who chimed in and commented. This is in their backyard. We got married in their backyard in Godfrey, Illinois. This was back in 2006, and we yeah, that was a long time ago. Like it was a very long time. And by then, like, we had been together for over a decade. Like, so our family is intertwined. This was a beautiful day. We were able to bring our families together who just felt like we both were already a part of the family. Like our families are so intertwined that you wouldn't even know who is who, like who belongs to who. And this day was crazy. So I'm in Godfrey, Illinois, and I don't know, maybe you didn't, but you know how they say people like start wondering, like, is this the thing? Is this the thing that we're gonna do? Is this the step? And so I'm there and I'm praying, God, if this is not for me, then don't let it. This man was 3 hours late.
Whoa.
But it will speak for his heart. So he was helping other people get to our wedding.
Wow.
So he was picking up people to make sure that they got to a wedding, and that's the reason why he was late. But in my eyes, I'm like, ooh. So God, you tell me,
right? I hear you, God.
This
I hear you. I receive what you're saying.
Yeah. So I was crying, and people like, are you? And I'm like, no, I'm just like, is this not it? Whatever. I'm one of them, whatever God's will is type people. Yeah. So it wasn't like sad tears, but it was like, oh my gosh, like, so when he showed up, it really just was the most beautiful thing.
You was bawling your eyes out even more, but happiness.
But it don't stop there. My best friend always tells the story. She like, you are a get it done, whatever type person. So he shows up, his hair, you see his hair is locked.
Yeah.
His hair not done.
Oh, wow.
So this our wedding day. And I was like, you're not supposed to see the bride. I said, come on in here. I had to lock his hair up.
Oh, Lord. She over here breaking all the rules.
My friend said you was locking your man hair on his wedding day, wedding day. I had to get them together. He had to look good for the pictures.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
But that day was crazy, crazy, crazy. But look at his hair.
Yeah.
Look at those edges.
Lock hairstyle, lock lips.
Yeah.
There we go. Whole lot of locking going on right there. And a funny comment from your mom. She says, I said, Jerron, get away from my windows.
So she says that because, you know, we met at 13. So I told you I wasn't supposed to be dating.
Right.
He would walk down the street from so he lived a street over, and he would walk down the street. And when they got by my window, they would be really, really loud to see if I was there. And if I was there, I would go to the window and open the windows and say hi. And then they would come to my bedroom window, and we had bars on our window and everything.
Oh,
my mom, they weren't playing.
It was prison for real.
Yeah, they weren't playing. But we would just talk through the window. Wow. And so my mom would be like, get away from my window.
Look at y'all sound like a loving basketball. Quincy and what's her name?
Yes.
And how many years now have y'all been married?
Oh my gosh.
So what
are we going into? So
26.
This year we would celebrate 20 years of marriage. Yeah, this year.
That's amazing. So my wife and I will be celebrating 5 on 9/11.
Congratulations.
And I mean, time just gone by so fast.
Yeah.
And it's been a blessing. But for you, 20 years into it, from just your experience, and this is something that I feel people who, you know, may be married, considering that next step, but just from your experience, what has been your biggest takeaway and your advice you would like to give to others about marriage?
That's a hard one. It seemed like it should be easy, right? But it's not, because marriage is hard. Marriage is really, really hard. And it is a roller coaster. Like, it really is a roller coaster of emotions. And you're trying to merge two people into one. And 20 years, we started off dating at 13. My son is 14. Like, my son is 14. I can't even imagine him, any girl that he's dating right now, he end up being married to, you know, like that boy don't know himself. He don't know like who he is. So we have grown so much, and there's been so many trials and tribulations and things that have made it difficult. But what I will say is the one thing that we had a conversation the other day, just maybe a couple of days ago, the respect that we have for each other and the love and the loyalty. Like, we're loyal, both of us. I don't know, people talk about zodiac signs. I feel like I'm a true Cancer. My husband's birthday is June 22nd, 1980, and mine is June 26th, 1980. So we both Cancers, and his grandfather used to be like, how do y'all make that work? But Cancers are very loyal. We're very loyal people. And because of that, I feel that in the relationship, and I hope he feels the same way, but we've been consistent for one another.
That's huge.
It's like the consistency is one another. I mean, there's so many different things. There's times where, like, yes, I'm sure we both have wanted to kill each other. There's been times that we want to walk away. I would be lying if I said that it wasn't. You know, there are times, but there's also times where I'm like, nobody's probably ever going to show up for me the way he showed up for me. And I don't know if I could ever show up for somebody the way I show up for them. Like, it's just, so the story that we were talking about the other day, my friend said to me, and I shared it with him, I said, we see people dealing with different things, and couples, they're selfish in relationships. They don't share with one another. They don't, this is mine, and you know, this is that. And we've never been that type of couple. And I don't know if that's because we've dated for so long. So it's always, we have to figure it out together. I don't know what it is, but we always show up for each other. Even if we're not on the best terms, I'm gonna make sure you straight. He gonna make, I don't like you for real right now, but here, eat this. Right. You know, like, we gonna make sure that you know.
Get out the way.
Yeah.
I got you. Let me open up your door.
Yeah.
I can't stand you right now, but now
you straight.
You just say, you know, wifey, I don't feel like that. Never have. I'm saying it right now, Smooth Conversations. Not one time in my mind, oh my Lord, I can't stand you, but let me open up your door anyway.
That's not him.
I got you.
That's us. 20 years in the line. 20 years in. But one thing that I can say is that we always show up for one another. And my friend said to me, she was like, it's just something about the way you guys move in a space. She said, yeah, my husband always like crack a joke and say, we supposed to look good as a unit, as a family. Like it's 5 of us. He said we never look good as a unit. But he was like, we're supposed to look good as a unit. But she was like, and she doesn't know that he says this, but she said, you guys always look good as a unit. Like you show up in a space and y'all could be across the room and people know that y'all belong together. She said it's just something like y'all check in with each other, y'all movie, and he makes sure that you got what you need, you make sure he got what he need. And I think just that caring about each other is what has helped us to get through 20 years. To be like, if you are with somebody who don't care for you, they don't care for you. It's times where you just not vibing, but I genuinely care about him. I genuinely want him to be well. I genuinely want him to be happy. And I think he feels the same way about me. And so we're able to get through pretty much anything because of that. So my advice is, make sure that you're equally yoked with somebody. You getting together with somebody who genuinely shows you that they care for you. And caring is, people show the way they care. You also gotta understand somebody's love language too, because we don't always show love in the same way. You gotta know people's the way they were brought up to love. Like you might marry somebody who they were taught that stability is how you show up and you show that you love somebody. But if you're a person that you need to hear I love you and you need to feel I love you and you need the action behind it and all the emotions and stuff, then some kind of way you got to meet in the middle. And you can't love people in the way that you love. You got to love them in their love language, right?
And it's not just about you.
And it's not just about you. And if you genuinely care about somebody, you will want to love them in the language that speaks to them.
And one of the best feelings, and I said earlier how you get those confirmations on affirmations, whatever. One of the biggest things for us, for my wife and I, is when we're out, no matter if we're in church or no matter if we're out at a party or at a store or whatever it is, and we meet someone who already know us or whatever it is, and they always say how we give them hope. Like, and that's what we pray for. And that's something that needs to be done all the time. Pray together.
Yeah.
Do that. Continue to keep God first. But now when we always hear, man, y'all inspire me. And that's what it should be about. Is that we need to inspire each other, because there may be some that may say, man, love ain't for me. Love is for everyone.
Yeah.
God didn't put you in this world to be alone. Now, just like sometimes in college, it's not for everyone. We understand that, but there is love. You know what I'm saying? That you can have a strong bond.
Love is for everybody.
Exactly.
Yes.
You can have an amazing partnership, which I want to talk to this, because we have been seeing, especially with our culture, with our race, there's just been so much of a high rate of divorces going on. Do you feel that's because people are only getting into it just for the title?
Okay, so that has been a conversation that has been spoken of for a very long time. And I do believe that there is I think that I will say this is twofold. Okay. So the first piece of it is that I think that we weren't taught the way we probably should have been taught. Like, things are different. I like to say that my home is pretty traditional when it comes to my husband does certain things, I do certain things. And as long as we doing the things, like it works fine for us. But life is not traditional anymore. And you can't expect people to move the same way that they did 50 years ago. Right. You know what I mean? So we can't be teaching the young girls how to be wives like our grandmas were wives 50 years ago. That's not going to be the case. And it's not going to be the case with, so people get into these relationships with these expectations that it's going to be like this. And it's literally never a 50-50. You know, I don't know if you, I'm sure, you know, being married, y'all heard of the 80-20 rule, you know, like it's never 50-50. Somebody is always giving more. But the thing is that not one person is always giving more and the other person is just sitting there taking. And so when you enter these relationships, I think part of it is that it seems pretty to just have some people, and I'm gonna say people because I don't want to say men or women, but some people are comfortable with being in a relationship just for the sake of having the title that they're in a relationship. I do believe that. And I do believe that a lot of people get into these roles of marriage not understanding the expectation. And like I said, you're literally merging two people together. If he screw up, it affects me. If I screw up, it affects him. You know, so truly, I do believe that. I definitely believe that. But then the other fold of it, so this kind of takes it to like generational,
right?
Because my friend and I talk about this a lot lately. I'm 45, so I'm right at that point of what they call it perimenopause. And so a lot of talk on social media lately is about, you know, menopause and perimenopause and all of those things. And it takes a really, really solid guy to truly support a woman when she's going through that. Like, you know, like you and just that, like that's the cycle, like period. Like, you know, just teaching men that, you know, she gonna go through a whole range of emotions and it's not fake. You know, men have grown to believe that it's fake and she just act like this because this. No, we really are raging and we have no control over it. And we need men to show up soft for us. And we need them to, you know, I'm not saying that it's okay for a woman to be abusive towards a man because that time of the month or whatever, but we need you. But then it gets worse. Because in her 40s, late 40s and 50s and things like that all the hormones are doing something crazy, you know, like levels are dropping, other levels are rising. And we could literally say that we want a divorce tomorrow and we need you to be there and just be like, okay, wait, let's talk this through. What's going on, you know? And so I think that a lot of, not just marriage, you know, they say marriage that people don't tend to make it past 5 years, you know, so congratulations again. But a lot of marriages, once it hits this point in a woman's life, it ends in divorce because we are having this whole renewed, this is who I am. And they say the estrogen levels drop. And so those are the levels that keep us as nurturing and we're here for everybody and we're showing up for everybody the way we show up for them. And then when those levels start to drop, we start to recognize, oh, wait,
all right,
I'm not just put here for somebody else. What about myself? And sometimes it's hard for men to continue to grow with their woman when she has literally gone through this life-changing experience. And now she's trying to figure out who she is now that she's not that person anymore. I'm literally shedding skin, you know what I mean? And so I think that is another piece of it too, is just understanding that we're all going through different cycles and changes in our lives. And you have to be willing to show up for that person and be there with them through this change and through the, because it's scary for all of us.
Yeah, and I would say to the men, think about this when your woman is going to do something. Look at your old self and look in the mirror. She ain't the only one that's changing.
Yes.
She ain't the only one. You ain't the same, biggest muscles, best hairstyle, prettiest skin, whatever it is that you used to be when y'all first met.
Yes. And if you wanna stay in, like, that's what I say, family fitness. Like, if y'all want to set a family goal, if you want to set a couples goal, like, I love to see when I'm, and social media is not a real place, but when you're there and sometimes you go down the rabbit hole when you see the couples and they working out together and they got these fitness goals together, like, do that. Do whatever it takes to, grow together, because one day that's going to be the only person that's holding you down. Or what you say, one day you're going to look up and that person's not there and you're going to be missing them. Yeah.
Yeah. So from being a wife, talk about the honor of being a mother.
I think that's one of the, I mean, anybody who knows me would probably tell you, like, I was the little girl who wanted to be a mama. Like I had my Cabbage Patch doll and I carried it around. I had a wonderful mom. Yeah. So, like if you I had a beautiful example of what it could be like. And so I had my Cabbage Patch on my hip and I was always, I'm going to be a mama. And I was learning, I was that girl. Not everybody is, but I was that girl. So by the time I was like in high school and college, I was like working with children and things. And I had a godson. My cousin had a baby and she was younger when she had him. So we all, came in and we decided to support her. So that's my godson. And this baby, I loved him with all my heart. I was just like, oh, I just love this baby so much. He's the most beautiful baby on earth, blah, blah, blah. My husband's like, one day you're going to have your own. I was like, he's the most beautiful baby in the world. Blah, blah. But when his mama came, that little boy didn't look at me. He was like, my mama. I'm like, I just did all of this. And so I remember saying, I can't wait till I have my own. And that was, this kid is like 20, probably like 24 now. Mm-hmm. And so that was so many years ago when I had my own. So I was the mama. My husband and I waited to have children. We were 30. I was turning 31 when we had our first child. And so we waited and I was the person who took the prenatal pills before I was pregnant. I prepared. I wrote letters to him before he was born and everything. So like I was like ultimate. I was working with children and everything. It was the most beautiful. I was so sick. I was like, I'm the person that's sick throughout the entire pregnancy, but it was the most beautiful experience ever. And then we had our second one, and the third one was a surprise, but I tell her all the time, you are the blessing that I didn't know I wanted. Like I literally was teaching a class the other day and I like do a conversation breaker, icebreaker. And the question was, what is something that you've learned from another pregnant person or mom? Or what is something that someone has shared with you that you wish they wouldn't? Mm-hmm. And so one of the moms said that one of the things that's really hard for me is when we're hanging out with our friends that have children already, and we're saying like we're tired or we're looking forward to this or something, and they're like, well, yeah, you enjoy this time now because, when you have kids, you're not going to get this and you're not going to do that and you're not going to. And she said, and it, like, we really want to be parents. And we kind of like wonder, like, am I making the right choice? Because, and I shared with her, I said, now this is my experience. And it is, my experience is not everyone's experience, but my experience is that motherhood is the most beautiful thing ever. It's not perfect. It's not always pretty, but oh my gosh, if you can tell me 1,000,000, you can give me 1,000,000 compliments, 1,000,000. One thing that I know is that I show up to be the best mama that I can, and they make life worthwhile. And I can't say I'm a perfect mama. They gonna probably have their little things like we all do, but I do the best that I can, and I try, and they make it so worthwhile. Like it's, I mean, that's a loaded question, but definitely one of my favorite parts of life. And I had a blast in college. But one of my favorite parts of life is being the mama of those 3 children. They are 3 of my favorite people.
And looking back, did you all? I know you said that you wanted to be a mother. Did you have a certain number of kids that you always wanted to have?
So I wanted to have twins, 1 pregnancy and be done. Okay. Let me tell you, like how dedicated I was to this. I did research. I was like, so we have on both sides of my family, we had twins. So I did the research and I realized, oh shoot, it's like a paternal thing. So it typically runs on that. But there was research that showed if you eat yams.
Lord.
So I was like, I'm eating yams. My friends would like bring me like, look, they'll bring me yams like as a joke. Like, I know you want to have them twins, so here's a yam for you. And like, I was doing all the things. I was convinced that I was going to have twins first go around and I was going to be done. That was it. That is not what happened. God did not see fit. But that was, I did. I always wanted, I prayed for a girl and a boy. I wanted them to be like twins and just be done.
Yeah.
All my kids are 3.5 or more, 3.5 to 4 years apart. So they're really like spaced out. They're really, really close. They really, the 14-year-old, the 6-year-old, they crack me up. Like their relationship, you 14, she's 6, but they like really have a really good relationship. And so I love to see it. I've been biologically the only child. Biologically, I have siblings. But
might see a comment coming up very soon.
Being the only child biologically, I didn't have what they have. And to see them interact and engage with one another and do that, it's just beautiful to watch. I love that for them.
That's what's up, man. Love it for you. Once again, Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. She came in wondering like how this is going to be, what to expect. I'm like, it's going to really be a general conversation. And I think that's what we've been doing.
Yes.
This whole thing. It's been just a general conversation, just like you would, at a salon, barbershop, whatever it is, or just sitting out on the porch. But we just got a microphone, some lights, and cameras, and, whole 9 making it happen. So we hope that you all have been enjoying this conversation. Continue to leave comments, questions, the whole 9. And then if I approve, it will be on the screen. As we wind down on this amazing conversation, this is called Smooth Moments, where you've already seen some photos, but I've seen some other ones, and I just want to highlight, get your thoughts on where were you at this time? What was your mindset? Whatever that picture meant to you. So I saw this one. I've seen others, and I'm like, okay, she be outside, so she be getting it in, And then I'm like, well, this one here, she straight standing on business. So talk about this photo right here.
Oh my goodness.
This pose right here was saying it all.
So this was so this is after my 3rd child. And my friends were in the thick of it. Like they were enjoying life. I had the youngest child in the group. And so I missed out on a lot that year, maybe beyond, because I'm a extended breastfeeder too. Okay. So when they were leaving and going on trips, I'm like, I can't go because I got to nurse this baby. So this year, my great aunt was having a 50th birthday party in Atlanta, and my friends and I were discussing possibly doing a girls trip. And so I said, well, I'm going to Atlanta for my aunt's thing. Why don't we just make it a thing? And so it was a group of us. We all went to Atlanta. We got us an Airbnb. And baby was outside, like for real.
She was boots on the ground before boots on the ground came out.
The theme was cowboy.
Yeah.
So I didn't have cowboy boots. I told my friend I don't have it. And we used to borrow clothes from her mom all the time growing up in high school. And so she was like, call mom. She probably my friend lived in Dallas. Okay. She was like, but her mom is still here. She's like, call mom. I bet she has some boots. And Miss Lynette, I still have your boots. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get them back to you. But yes.
I don't know when, but no.
But yes, that was me just feeling free. It was a weekend of I think by the 3rd day I was like, I'm ready to go home to my family. But it was a fun weekend.
That's what's up. And then this picture about family pretty much.
Yes, that's it. I think that might be an Easter Sunday. And we just kind of went to church with my mom and my dad. And that was a beautiful day. Just look how cute they are. And look at us match. You see the hat?
Right. I see it. Color coordinated. And that's what's so cool about marriage too, is that like my wife, she was the kind of person when we first met that she wasn't all about the lovey-dovey type stuff, But that's when I knew that we were meant for each other, because it wasn't like a force. I wouldn't say, oh no, you're gonna start saying you love. No, it just came natural.
Yes.
And one of the things that I knew when it was real was when we were, of course, dating, and she really wasn't the kind of person at the time that would like show affection in public. So we went to I think it was Maurizio's in by the Galleria. So we go in, we waiting to get seated, and then we get our table call or whatever, so we can go to our table. And as we're walking, she like grabbed my hand in public while we going to our seat, and it was like it hit her like, who am I?
Just naturally,
because I'm not the one who shows public affection, but she's the one that's holding me and wanting me to scoot over some more, and the whole locking arms while we sit down, and I'm like, that's when I know, you know what I'm saying,
she feels safe with you.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying, the whole being equally yoked and everything is like it just naturally happens, and that's when you got it the best, when it's natural. So that got a comment from your girl here, says, I remember that event.
Oh yes. So she's in Atlanta. So we were visiting. That my cousin lives in Atlanta. Yes, you weren't there because you were hosting a whole house full of people.
But no, like I said, that's when you know. You know what I'm saying? And it's so important for people to remember that. And to be, like you said before, consistency. Yes. You have to remain consistent because it's gonna show if you don't. And we have our certain things when we leave the house. I'll say a certain thing or she'll say something, and if it's not being said, wait a minute.
Something off.
I didn't hear you say it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you know it's solid. That's where you know it's solid. So this is the last photo of the conversation coming up. And I love to ask this question to our guests because once again, we always see where they came from, where they're going. But as a woman that you are today, what would you say to this young lady right here on the screen?
I would just say to the younger me to always know that you deserve. So one of the things that it took me a while, I went through a really hard period of time. I told you in one of the photos that you pulled up, and where I was at that space was that I was seeing, so I'm always going to show up loud for my friends, excited for them and their blessings. But what I felt in that moment during that time was that this just may be where I'm supposed to be. And there's nothing greater for me. Maybe I'm just supposed to sit on the sidelines and cheer for the people for me. And I went through that period of just expecting the bottom to fall out all times. If something good was happening in my life, I couldn't even really enjoy it because the anxiety that the bottom was going to fall out. So if I could say anything to her, the main thing would be that you are good and you deserve good things. Once I started to realize that for myself, like, you are good and you deserve good things, things started changing. I spoke life into myself, and now I thank you. I feel it. I do. I feel like I am. And like I said, once I spoke life into myself, then I saw that life changed. And so if I could tell her that from the beginning, just imagine like who she could be if she knew from the beginning that nothing could stop her because you were good and you deserve good things.
Love it. Love it. So once again, Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. As we wrap it up, it's your camera right there. It's your opportunity. Give your shout outs where people can find you. If they wanted to do some yoga, the whole nine, this opportunity is yours right now.
Awesome. So I would say that my family is currently, and I say my family because we have a book and my children always call it their book, but we are currently in the process of writing our second book as a family. And when I say that I would speak to that young girl and I would tell her that you are good and you deserve good things, this new book is about affirmations and speaking into your life. So that is like perfect timing for this. If you want to find me, you can catch me on most platforms at Black Kids Do Yoga. And you can also follow me on at A Yoga Mama, where I kind of share a little bit about my yoga journey, as well as me being a mom and family, because family is everything. As my mom would say, family first, God first, family, and just health and wellness. Those are my things. So yeah, find me online at Black Kids Do Yoga or at A Yoga Mama, and look out for the next book that's coming soon.
There we go. Got a comment. You are sure love. Wonderful podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Uncle.
Appreciate it, Unc. Make sure y'all once again share this stream. Follow Smoooth Conversations on YouTube and Smoooth Productions on Facebook. Scan the QR code. Show love. Check out so many of the previous episodes I have almost over 2 years worth of amazing conversations with so many different guests. So definitely check that out and support. Yes. Let's support each other. You know what I'm saying? Especially the ones who, we always want to support Black business. At the same token, I always feel like you have to give us a reason to support you too.
That's that part. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. You have to give us a reason. And I hope that what you all have witnessed this evening will give you more than enough reasons to support Smoooth Conversations. I need y'all to like, subscribe on YouTube. Everyone go there, Smoooth Conversations, Smoooth videos, subscribe.
And the comments matter, right?
Yes,
the comments matter. Yes.
Let's see. Our family always show lots of love to each other.
Yes, we do.
And then from your mom, thank you.
You are awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
More to come. So with that being said, take away being mother, take away being a wife, take away yoga instructor, take away being a teacher, being involved in regards to social worker. Who is SonJoria?
So I looked up the other day because I like to think of myself as a free-spirited person. I honestly, if I wasn't married and I didn't have children, I would backpack through Europe. Like I want to just like enjoy the wilderness, lay by it. Like that is like, oh my gosh, that would be like a dream. And maybe one day I still will, Yeah. But I just like to believe that that's who I am. I'm just a person who just enjoys life. Things don't always have to be calculated. I can tend to be calculated, but things I like to just go with the wind, very spontaneous. I love to have fun and just enjoy life. Like, so that would sum me up. I just believe in being happy.
There it is. And once again, Smoooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing conversation.
This was awesome.
I appreciate it. Everyone else, make sure y'all go ahead and show love all across them pages. Scan the QR code. Once again, you have Smoooth Moments. Y'all need some photography, videography, drone services. Smoooth Moments got you. Support the platform Sports Talk Show. You'll see the link when you scan the QR code, or go to smoothproductions.com. You'll see different logos on the top right of the screen. And of course, once again, KBDR Beat District Radio. Go to beatdistrictradio.com or download the app. Smoooth Conversations. Y'all have a great rest of y'all week. Be safe out there. It said once again that the snow may come and may accumulate to over 12 inches. We shall see. But whatever happens, be safe out there and have a great rest of y'all weekend. And we out there.
What you have just experienced was brought to you by Smoooth Productions. Until next time, stay tuned and stay smooth.